How did you get involved with the Pirates franchise? How did that all go down back then?
Well, you know what? I was really lucky to be a part of it because I was working on Haunted Mansion and another movie called Looney Tunes Back in Action. But Disney originally thought that Haunted Mansion was going to be their like, the huge blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that they didn't really think that Pirates was going to be as big as it was. So anyway, I was working on it, and the stunt guy, who's been like in everything. I mean, I still like every once in a while I'll be watching like Scarface or something. I'll be like, oh my God, there's Tommy Rosales. The guy's been in everything. And so Tommy was like, hey, Marty, man, you need to go see George Rugi. They're doing Pirates of the Caribbean. That's my bad Mexican. Sorry.
It's all right.
But that's Tommy. So anyway, I was like, dude, I'm kind of busy with these two. And he's like, well, you should still go see him. So anyway, I called that night to set up an interview. And his right-hand man said, don't worry. We got your name. You'll be in. Don't worry about it. And so originally I was going to do stunts, but I ended up taking it as a background actor and, just as one of Jack's crew. And then when they decided they were going to go to down to the islands, and that's when we were notified, I was like, ugh, I don't really want to go away down there just as a background actor. So if they're not going to give me a stunt, then I'm gonna exit. But I kind of, not a bad way, but I kind of called their bluff because it's like, hey, you've already established me. It's gonna be kind of hard to just write out the little guy. Where did he go? So anyway, they're like, oh, don't worry. And then they had me do a stunt that night, so I got put on a contract, and then I was on contract the rest of the way, and I had no clue that they were going to do, 4 more after that. But it's turned out to be, a really nice, lucrative thing. And, it's always good to be part of Disney. So working for the mouse is a good thing.
I'm sure I know quite a few people that have worked for Disney since the '70s, and they say it's good for the most part.
Exactly. There are a few people who might think Mickey might be more of a rat, but that's okay. I like Mick. So.
Yeah, it's the same with every corporation. You're always going to have the good and the bad. You just have to
exactly.
In Hollywood, you have to make do with what it is.
Exactly.
It's interesting that you mentioned that they thought that they were banking on Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride, and when I saw it in theaters, it was quite depressing. But, yeah, but I can kind of understand because I don't think a major pirate movie had been made since the '90s with Cutthroat Island, so I can kind of understand that. But did you have any apprehension when you signed on, thinking like, is this making movies based on rides? Is this really going to be something, or is this kind of just going to get laughed at?
Well, I didn't know. I kind of looked at it like an opportunity to work with Johnny Depp. Mm-hmm. Okay, twist my arm. He's an amazing actor. So I took it more of that. I didn't really even think about the whole ride aspect. Although when I go to Disneyland, of course we do ride the ride once, throughout the day. But it's kind of hard because if you go there and they don't give you a handler, it's hard for me to go to Disneyland anymore because then you're mobbed. And I don't mind taking pictures with people all day long, but otherwise, if you're waiting, 3 hours in a line, unfortunately, like everybody else, it opens up more to like, I can enjoy the park with my kids if all I'm doing is taking pictures of everybody. But, at one point I was the only actor who was in both of their movies made from rides. But I think they ended up doing, was it whatever
Country Bear Jamboree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't a part of that, thank God. But whatever. It's funny.
Yeah,
But I do
couldn't
love
see.
Disney. I love going there. So
Yeah, I couldn't see any other rides really becoming a movie. I couldn't see them making Space Mountain a movie or the Carousel Progress like we have over here in Florida or anything like that. But
right.
it, I mean, I wasn't expecting Pirates to turn into such a humongous franchise. And did that further open up even more opportunities for you once it hit big?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I mean, here I am still doing, celebrity poker tournaments or golf outings to support the our fallen soldiers or our
Mm-hmm.
police officers or all that stuff. And it's always good when people go, oh, get this guy or that guy. And when you're still on the mind of some people or of people, I should say, it's a good thing. And I mean, I would never trade it for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been very blessed. So luckily, I'm glad I did it.
Well, the great thing about you is you have this very distinct face. That's every time I see you, I'm like, even if it's in the background, I'd be like, I know that jawline.
Yeah, yeah. Or oops, that guy must have got punched in the crotch. So that's my other thing. Everybody knows me from punching people, and I was just at an autograph show last weekend. Yeah, last weekend, and somebody had said something, and it just popped in my mind. I'm like, you know what? People ask me to do it all the time to punch them in the crotch, and I'm just gonna put it on my table, like, hey, it's X amount for an autograph, X amount for a picture, and X amount if you want to get punched in the crotch, X amount if you want to videotape it. I'm gonna start, I guess I'll have to have a waiver for them to sign, but I'm like, well, heck, if that's what everybody remembers me from, then I'm gonna make money on it, right? That's the capitalist way.
I can imagine that going over very well at like fetish conventions.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll try not to make one of those, but yeah. If they want to pay me a big sum to come, hey, whatever pays the bills.
I think I may reach out to the FetCon people here in
Yeah,
Tampa and see, like, can we get Martin just to come in? He'll do this one thing,
yeah,
and everyone will
absolutely.
come.
I'll do it. Hey, right price. I'll do anything. Shit.
And just
Or
don't
not
do
anyone
don't do
though.
reality television. I've done that. Don't do it.
No,
Don't do it.
no. We've been asked, but they've came to us. But I mean, I've appeared on some like with my friends, the roll offs.
Hmm.
But it's just been kind of like we visited the farm. They happen to be there, and you know, to make a guest appearance. But yeah, we're not doing no reality shows. So once you do that, then you're all you're done if you're an actor. But there are people who've gone on to make. I mean, the roll offs. They make big bucks. I can't
Hmm.
take away from that. So
Yeah,
you know,
my wife and I did. She's done two. I've done one for A&E, and the NDA that we have to sign, it just makes it so
right?
hard because everyone knows you did it, and you can't say
Yep,
anything at all about any of it, and you
right.
just have to roll
What
with the
did you do?
lie. We did Fix This Yard on A&E back in
Oh,
2013.
oh, nice.
Yeah, we bought
Yeah,
this
I've always
place by the
wanted somebody to
beach,
do
and
a car.
uh,
I would always, I'd love to get on like one of those, those guys who take one of your cars and
hmm.
soup them all up or something like that. But yeah, no, it hasn't happened.
Yeah, the only
Oh
thing good
well.
about doing like a home improvement one is you actually do get the home improvements done. So you could take
Yeah,
a really
exactly.
crappy house that you bought during the recession, and all of a sudden you
Yeah,
can actually go buy a nice house.
yeah, exactly. Oh, that is smart. Yeah,
Yeah, but then it comes with all the stuff that everything does with being on TV. Got all people bother you about it all the time. People stop you, regardless if you've got like a 1-year-old that you're trying to deal with, and just like, hey, I saw you on that thing. Let me talk to you while you're in
right.
the middle of Toys R Us. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Hold on just a second.
Yeah,
Where
sure
you
thing.
at? Okay, hold on. My wife just fell. Hold on.
Sure.
She's under a clothes rack. Like my whole arm. Okay. Oh. I just had to. I was ignoring her calls, and here she's screaming, "Help me!" because the clothes rack fell over on her. Are you okay? No, it hurt. All right. All right, I'll finish my phone call. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll try not to keep you on too much longer.
No, it's okay. We're all good. She's good now. I was ignoring her phone call, and I'm like, and then all of a sudden I got a text saying, help me, help me. I'm like, what the hell? Thought maybe she fell in the shower or something. Oh, well. So you do get bothered a little bit, eh, with the reality people?
Yeah, it's because it has a different type of fan base than films do. It's like night and day. Like, I've been working in this industry since '97, and you see that big difference in people. Like, it's more housewives and shut-ins that really get into the reality stuff, and they will just bother you to no end, because then they know where you live too, because they didn't blur out the cross street.
I don't have that problem, but
yeah.
I you know what, I have gotten gifts in the mail, like really weird. Like, I don't know how the hell they get your address, but one time I got an Xbox from some fan in Europe. He sent an Xbox and like 4 games. Of course, the Xbox was for
Europe,
overseas. Yeah, so it's kind of like okay. But I was like, oh, grateful. But I'm like, it's kind of weird that they know where you live. So we try to, again, other than the Little People Big World, we don't. We try to stay away from any of those reality shows because, I don't want the problems either. So.
One thing that I've been wanting to ask you ever since I used to work at Dread Central and I covered Feast is there going to be another Feast film? Have you heard anything at all since Feast 3?
I haven't. You know what? I need to. I've reached out to Gulager a couple times, just like, hey, I want to work with you again, blah blah blah. And I should reach out and see if there's going to be any more. But you know what? 2 and 3. I mean, I was glad to work on them, but when I saw 1 and I agreed to do, 2 and 3, I thought, oh my God, that was so cool. And then when I did 2 and 3 and I saw them, I'm like, oh, it's not even on the same like level of,
it's a totally different beast altogether. It's a major jump in almost every aspect, but there's still very memorable scenes in it, and you get to be part of quite a few of them.
There was like 4 different generations of Gulagers in there. There was the old man. Yeah, there was the old man. There was the son who directed it, and then his brother. Oh, so there was 3. And then his brother, who was the bald guy with the pipe through his head, and then the baby that got thrown in the air for the beast to eat. That was the brother's kid. So at one point you had 3 generations of Gulagers. Being terrorized by these monsters. So, kind of funny.
If you had to do something else instead of acting, what's your what would have been your big dream outside of Hollywood?
Oh man, I would have loved to have been in the armed forces or a police officer for sure. So I mean, it's weird because I always tell people like, I have a lot of friends who hunt. But I'm like, and even though I eat meat, I could never shoot an animal. But I'm like, I could shoot a person, no problem. And there's a lot that needs
to be tough,
shot. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'm one of the people that people would like to take a shot at as well. But I'm like, dang, just, not that if I was a cop that I'd want to shoot anybody, but, just being able to patrol. And I've gone on a lot of ride-alongs with different sheriff and police departments, and and you totally understand what it's like. They talk about it, but once you're in a car and then you're into a high-speed pursuit, you totally understand the adrenaline that gets going. And when it comes to an end, I'm just like everybody else, like, oh, why did you guys have to, hey, he's already given up, blah, blah, blah. But it's, hey, the guy took so many other lives at risk by driving the way they did or this or that. And then you realize, you know what? In the old days when there weren't cameras around, that's probably when things were, a little bit better because the officers could probably put an ass whooping on you without, the cameras being present. So, but yeah, that's probably what I would have done. I would have loved to have been a Marine or a policeman.
I mean, you could always still join the force. I mean, if you want to give it all up and start over. I mean, it's always. I don't know if you want to be an LAPD though.
No, I would have to go to LAPD training.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a police department that would hire me, the San Fernando police department. But again, you still have to go through the LAPD department or the training. And I would more or less do it just because I I'm a big Second Amendment guy, and
Yeah,
I
me too.
carry whether I'm supposed to be or not. And it would just be it's weird because Orange County, Kern County, and Ventura County, all the counties that surround LA, it's no problem getting a CCW. No problem at all. LA County, where most of the crime happens, you can't get a CCW. So
So aside
yeah.
from the show that we cannot mention, what
Right.
else do you have in the works?
Uh, there's a couple of things that I've agreed to do, but nothing like there's always somebody saying, "Oh, I've got this thing I want you to do. Can I attach you to it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever," because it doesn't hurt me to be attached to something. It's not like I've signed a contract and I'm beholden to do anything other than if it comes to fruition, then cool. You're gonna talk to my agent and set up the money, whatever. But nothing really. It's been kind of slow, and even commercially, it's been slow for me. So
Are you going to be
yeah,
doing any convention appearances?
I do. I have the Rhode Island Comic Con coming up in uh, the first weekend of November, and you know what? Then I'm filming something in. Forgot. I'm filming something in Kentucky the second weekend of November called The Dark, and it's like a 5 episode miniseries, and it has to do with people who believe and don't believe in God or whatever, and kind of like apocalyptic whatever. And so there's the dark. I think is obviously the devil,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. So if you believe in the devil, then obviously you got to believe in God. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more like I said, more apocalyptic and good versus evil or different camps. So I'm going to be filming two, I think episode 3 and 4 when I go there for that. So it'd be fun because I get to get my head blown off. So that'd be kind of cool.
Do you happen to know which part of Kentucky? Because I was just out there last year for Strangers, Pray at Night, and they built a trailer park out in the middle of nowhere by the airport. And I don't know if they ever tore it down, so I don't know if they were going to start reusing that for sets for other films and series or whatever.
Good question. No, it's for a guy named Chip Rossetti. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
like the president of the film commission there,
Okay.
or maybe he's the mayor of the wherever it was. I want to say it was like maybe not Lexington, Kentucky, but I know it wasn't too far from the Tennessee border because I flew into
Yep.
Tennessee, Knoxville, and then they picked me up and brought me up there, and
Yep. Yep. That's
so yeah,
exactly what happened to me when I went out there.
yeah, so that's where it is, and I know that I met him through my good friend Branscombe Richmond. So it was cool. Went out there to do a benefit concert for the military, and then met these guys. And then next thing you know, they're, hey, would you be interested in doing any projects? I'm like, yeah. I mean, they're alternate, low budget, but if they go, exposure's exposure. No
Mm-hmm.
matter how high or how low you bet. I mean, I'm never going to be making 80 million like Johnny Depp. You know, I'm just looking to hit my gross so that I can get the full pension. Once I hit it, that's all
Mm-hmm.
I'm aiming for. So whatever.
It makes sense to me. I mean, not everyone is going to be a super mega star. I mean,
Exactly.
because then what will be the point of Hollywood if everyone's always, you know,
Right.
at the very
I
tippy
mean,
top? You need the other you need the working guys
right.
to to be there. Otherwise,
That's
you're
a,
just going to have a really boring movie. Like
right.
Pirates.
That's
To be
yeah.
honest, the first Pirates I wasn't a huge fan of, but the all the ancillary characters gave that thing life.
Right.
Johnny Depp, I really couldn't care about. Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom, it was kind of like whatever. But then watching
Yeah.
just the characters come out of all the other
Right.
pirates makes it a fun ride.
That's what I always say. I'm like, look, you can have your steak, but without your potatoes and your gravy and your vegetables and your dessert, there's nothing there. So, you know, you got to have all the rest of it. And, you know, that's the way I look at it. And, I mean, I love Peter Dinklage is an amazing actor. And, you know, he was making like, I think he was making like 1.5 million in an episode for Game of Thrones. And, it's kind of hard to, you know, if I go up against him for something, because he's already known for Game of Thrones, and, you know, pirates is kind of come and gone, so I'm not on, you know, their mind or as much as Peter right now, and he deserves every accolade and every bit of money he gets. You know, so I mean, he's done great things, and he's good for good for our community as far as little people, and, you know, people being able to, you know, forget about the guy being little. It's just, wow, what an amazing character that guy was. And you almost forget, you know, that's a lot of the things I strive to do is I try to make you forget that I'm little. And it's just like, oh yeah, that pirate, that, you know, the bald one. Yeah, he was little, or, you know, but other than, you know, you don't just stare at the film going, oh my God, where's the little guy? Oh, there's the little guy. You know, I just happen to be there more or less. You know, I'm not a side gag. So.
Yeah, if it's played for a joke, that's when it becomes distracting.
Right.
When it's played like you are a human being that is part of this ensemble, then all that weird prejudice that exists in the viewing audience just dissipates.
Exactly.
Like if I were to compare you and if I were to compare you and Dinklage together, you both bring something very different.
Absolutely.
You bring. When I look at you, I see a very tough. I see a tough guy.
That's my best thing.
Yeah, when I look at Dinklage, I see a more subdued person.
Right.
Just kind of very like straight and narrow.
Yeah, he's much more Broadway or what do you call it? Shakespearean.
Theatrical.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we both have done theater, but I've seen stuff that you know, I've done stuff that's been crap just as much as he has, and I think my benefits are comedy and the tough guy stuff. So where he's more the, you know, the dark, you know, Shakespearean kind of stuff like that. You know, because I'm sure there's stuff that I've done that people are like, oh yeah, you probably just did that for the money, and they're probably right.
I couldn't see him doing like Sons of Anarchy, but I could see you doing Sons of Anarchy.
Exactly. So, yeah, you know, he's great. He's amazing, and we've only had a couple of great guys like that. Like, you know, back in the day there was Michael Dunn and David Rappaport, and you still have Warwick Davis, and then Billy Barty. Other than that, there isn't a whole lot of, you know, guys that are given the opportunity without having to be the circus clown or, you know, the butt of. I don't do leprechaun stuff unless it's going to be, you know, like scary as hell, like, you know, like Warwick does. You know, I'm not. I'm not playing the. Hey, look at the little leprechaun thing. You know.
Yeah. So. I think we finally moved past that. As far as the movie going experience goes, I don't think exploitation film doesn't really exist in the way that it used to, thankfully. For the wrap up, where can people find you on social media and stuff like that? Do you have a website, Twitter handle, stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm on. I'm on. What is my shit? I mean, I'm on Facebook, obviously, but I know that like what the heck was it? Twitter. What is my? I think my Instagram is well, it would have to be under Martin Klebba, right? Or it would be the Stunt Run. A lot of people know me as the Stunt Run, but yeah, that's really weird. I never really think about it because I only go on there very, very rarely, and usually I don't even know how it's just already set in your phone, so you just kind of like pull it up and go. But either that or I'm on pretty much every night. my wife and I sell jewelry out of the house. This jewelry called Paparazzi, and so we have a website called moviestarbling.com, and so we get in there and we banter back and forth while selling, $5 jewelry. So people usually catch me there. It's kind of funny. They'll pop on. Oh my God! I'm like, yeah. Hey, here's the next necklace. Hey, check out these earrings.